Good evening, everybody. Scott Knoll here for Tournament Talk, sponsored by Hamilton Bait and Tackle. I want to first apologize for just now doing this recap of the tournament, but my partner and I came back from Alabama with a little more than some money in our pockets. I think we both end up with flu B. He's confirmed diagnosed with it. I didn't go to the doctor, but we've been sick for a few days, so I apologize on that. So tonight we're going to do a little recap of Guntersville. We went down on March the 16th to fish the Freedom Marine Tournament. First off, kudos to those guys. What a great tournament. I think we were probably the only guys from Ohio that drove down there, but put on a great tournament, about 200 boats. There were some heavy hitters in there. Gerald Swindle fished it. Davey Height and his boy fished it. There was some heavy hitters on the local scene. It's a great tournament, about 200 boats. We got down there on Wednesday, midday, so we only fished about half a day. Water temperatures in the low 60s, high 50s. Air temperatures in the 70s. It was sunny. To be quite honest, we ran some old nostalgia spots, some old river spots, some stuff that I had, some stuff that my partner had. Caught a few fish, nothing spectacular. Obviously went back out on Thursday. It got warm on Thursday. It was in the low 80s, I believe. We concentrated on mid-lake, around the state park, Seabold, a couple of marinas in the area. We caught a bunch of fish. Caught a bunch of fish on chatterbaits, some plastics, some jigs, things of that nature. Friday is when we put it all together. Cooled off a little bit. It was in the 70s, but it stormed all night long, and we got about an inch, a little over an inch of rain. It stormed pretty good till about 10:30 in the morning. So we didn't get on the water Friday till about 11 a.m. And we ran over into a area that we talked about going and checking out, and we ran onto a flat in the creek, and I mean, to put it light, we smashed them. And we didn't want to catch a whole lot of fish because it's Friday, the day before the tournament, but we caught several fish on this one flat pretty quick. And then we moved probably, I don't know, 400 or 500 yards, and then caught them again. And then we moved in the creek a little bit, and then we caught them again. So, we had a choice to make if we were going to fish, the mid-lake area, or if we were going to run up to the Goose Pond area. So, tournament morning, it was a little chilly. It was in the low 50s. Wind was blowing, as you can see in the tournament morning video. Like, we were bundled up. I had a hoodie on and a face mask on, and it was blowing pretty good. But we got over to our first spot, the spot we committed to, and we had a limit in about the first 2 hours. Nothing secret. I mean, everybody was throwing at chatterbaits, jigs, Senko here or there. The thing that it took just a little while for me to adjust to is, I'd talked to a few people that said they were catching some fish in the dirt, and I really didn't understand what dirt meant, but dirt meant exactly what they said, which was dirt. If you didn't have a trail of mud behind your lure, you weren't catching fish. I honestly, a couple times I told my partner Daniel, I said, I'm surprised we can't see the dorsal fin on these fish, but they were up shallow. They were getting ready to do their business. They were just waiting for that magic, 65 degree for the whole, for the big wave to go in. Now I'll tell you right off the bat, there were some fish already on the beds, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But, we got our limit about 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Talked a little bit. We probably had 14 and a half pounds in the first 2 hours. Felt good about it, but knew it wasn't going to be enough to really compete in the top 10 or top 20. So we talked about going and finding some big fish and how we would do that. and we thought our best bet. You couldn't see the bedding fish, at least not where we were at, but you had an idea that maybe the first couple big females might have been on the nest. So on Friday, we fished this certain area fairly close to a marina, and my partner Daniel rolled a big one but didn't get a hook in it. So we went back on Saturday and we went right to that spot, and I let him to have the first couple pitches at it, and the fish wasn't on the same spot. Um, but I threw my plastic in, and it never made it to the bottom. I just felt one tick and it started moving out towards the boat, and I set the hook on it, and it came out of the water, and my partner yelled, "That's her, that's her, that's the fish from yesterday." So we got her in the boat. She weighed about 5 pounds. So it was a good call there. Took us up to probably close to 18. Um, Moved down just a little bit. We were fishing pretty shallow at this point. Um, Flipped a Cinco up close to a dock, and once again didn't really feel the bite other than just saw my line take off towards the deep water. Set the hook. It was a good solid fish, probably 3.25 or 3.5 to 3.75 pound. Nice fish. Was an upgrade. Took us to about probably high 18s maybe. We weren't weighing the fish at this point. We were just tagging them and putting them in because we were really focused on catching some fish. We would do some calling on, some balance beams and stuff in a little bit. But we went back to the flat, caught several more fish. Um, Only upgraded once by a couple ounces. And then about 2 o'clock, we said, we got a chance if we can catch a big fish. So we went to this section of bank, and there was some grass blown up on it. And I made the comment to Daniel. I said, you can't tell me there's not a bedding fish somewhere on this grass bed. And he's like, I agree. So we flipped it for maybe 10 or 15 minutes and didn't have a bite. And I flipped my Cinco over near this pylon, and it almost felt like a bluegill hit, but then it circled. Um, and I reeled down, tightened my line, and I told him, I was like, there's one right there. And I set the hook, and this fish went bananas. It came to the right side, the driver's side of the boat. Um, I tried to keep her down in the water because I knew it was a big fish as soon as I hit it. And then she went around the trolling motor and went out the passenger side towards the deep water. And Daniel grabbed the net, and I brought her around, and he scooped her in the net at the exact same time my hook fell out. And she ended up weighing over 6 pounds. It was a monster fish for us. Took us over 20 pounds for the day. We checked in at 2:45 or 3:45. We were about 191. And when we weighed in, we were in 11th place. So there were a couple flights left to go. And when the dust all settled, we finished 18th out of just about 200 boats, which, we weren't from there, but everybody else was from there. So we took a few Buckeyes from Ohio and took us down into hostile territory, and we got us a top 20 finish. Really cool part of this Freedom Marine tournament is they had some divisions for like military and child parent, and they had a first responder division, which Daniel and I ended up winning. So that gave us an extra $1,000 for winning the first responder category. So pretty cool. We came back with 18th place money plus the first responder money. So certainly an awesome trip. Can't wait to go down to Guntersville. Anybody that lives in Guntersville is spoiled. I'll just tell you that place is phenomenal. Those fish are built different. Seems like every fish you catch is between 2.5 and 6.5 pounds, and like they're healthy. And I mean, there were two 200 boat tournaments plus a high school tournament going on Guntersville at the same time. Boats everywhere. Follow the leader. You didn't have a spot to yourself, but these fish were still biting. We've caught between 15 and 20 keepers a day. Like, just had a ball. This week, I would imagine down there with this full moon coming here in a couple days, like that place is gonna be bananas. I'd love to be down there when that big wave comes in. But that's kind of a recap. We were chatterbait, swim jig, Senko, jig. I even threw a topwater frog a couple times. So that's kind of the tools we use to get the 18th place finish. But as always, I always end these things with the tools for success and things that we wouldn't have fared so well with had we not had. And we wore those power poles out. We were, like I said, we were fishing in dirt, and we had some wind, and those power poles were down and up, probably a couple hundred times during the day. So the power pole certainly played a big part in our success. I can't talk enough about P-line 12-pound tactical. I mean, I'm flipping a Senko or throwing a chatterbait on the same 12-pound test tactical, and just absolutely the utmost confidence. Did not even once think about breaking that 6.5 pounder off. I knew that tactical P-line was going to get the fish in the boat. Hayabusa wacky hook. Um, that's one dandy of a hook. Very strong, doesn't flex a lot. So when you stick those big fish, you're gonna get them in the boat. My amphibious sunglasses were huge. It got sunny and very glary, and in order to see those patches of grass, excuse me, a good pair of sunglasses were certainly needed in my amphibias. I mean, I wear them during the daytime. I wear them when it's raining. I always have a pair of amphibias either on my hat or on my face or in my truck or wherever. I don't go anywhere without my amphibias. Once again, I talked about this in my video last week. That MillerTech battery, isolating all my electronics on that MillerTech 31 AGM battery has been a game changer. My live scope is really clear. Everything runs great. I just can't talk enough about that. So if you're in the market for a battery, certainly take a look at the MillerTech. Daiwa's new to me this year as a rod and reel sponsor, but they're not new to me. They're new as a sponsor. I've used Daiwa since I was in my teens, and I still have some of the Light and Tough series from 25, 30 years ago. But that Daiwa Tatula Elite, the rods and the reels they're next level, folks. If you're looking for a premium rod, premium reel that is going to absolutely perform to the top level, absolutely check out the Tatula Elite Series rod and reels. You can check those out at Hamilton Bait and Tackle. And last but not least, my Sublime tournament jersey. We had a couple people comment on our jerseys down there, and Sublime does a great job every year. The jerseys are durable. They keep the sun off of you. At the same time, they keep you cool. So they knocked it out of the park again with my jerseys this year. So that's kind of the wrap up for Guntersville. But if you're in the market for any of those things that I mentioned, please take a look at hamiltonbait.com and use the discount code SNOL Fishing and get yourself a discount. And also the MillerTech, if you're in the business or in the market for a new battery, reach out to me if you have any questions, or reach out to me and I'll send you a link and save you some money on a MillerTech battery. But that's the recap for Guntersville in the Freedom Marine Tournament. 18th place, brought home some nice bit of change, and it was a great trip. So looking forward to next weekend. We're still trying to decide if we're heading to Kentucky Lake, if we're going to stay local. So that's about it. So until next time, good fishing.